Hey everybody, welcome to the Monday Mailbag here on Celtics Roundtable. We are powered by the sneaker company Greats and CLNS Media. Here covering the now 8 straight win Celtics, I'm Matt Ignal. I'm joined, of course, by my brother Jonathan, Lucky's Pipe. But the first question is going to go to Sam Sheehan. I just kind of want to give you a chance here with these two big wins over, I guess, two of the best teams in each conference against the Oklahoma City Thunder and then the Orlando Magic. What's on your mind, Sam? What do you got to say about the boys in green?
It's good to see them surviving Al Horford being as average as he is. We've heard, sports radio, famously the most arcane source of sports knowledge, has said that Al Horford is average. I mean, what reason do they have to make up a narrative that couldn't be further from the truth? And, the Celtics have continued to win, and Al Horford has looked great to me, so that's weird. It's weird. What do you guys make of that? Am I just crazy? Like, I must just know a lot less than the Boston sports radio, right?
No, I think anytime you can score 17 points in a second half against the OKC Thunder and literally not miss in the last, 8 minutes, pretty average player.
Yeah, especially in crunch time when NBA big men disappear, Al Horford emerges and bangs threes and shows Steven Adams what a versatile center can do.
That was just a heroic performance by the Celtics against the Thunder. Nearly every single defensive possession, aside from the one where Jaylen Brown went under the screen and got chewed out by Brad Stevens, they were just so in sync and they were just locked in, and it was just awesome to see it from that defensive mentality that they were able to flip the switch and turn up their defense to a level that even a great offensive team like Oklahoma City really had trouble generating quality looks.
What really jumps out to me for the Celtics is I look at what they do offensively. They're not setting the world on fire offensively. You're missing Gordon Hayward. That will happen. And you got some of these rookies and younger players. The Celtics every game seem to miss a lot of open shots or these get to the rim but not convert these attempts at the rim. And I'm just kind of struck by how that almost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The Celtics are...
Terry Rozier falling every time, and it doesn't seem to... I get mad, and then nothing happens.
There is no, Piper to come back and pay. Some of these stats are statistic. It's 46 of all the threes that Jaylen Brown takes are from the corner, and he's shooting 44% from there. I mean, that's just understanding, good floor balance and, Brad Stevens putting his guys in a chance to succeed and, just knowing when you have that lethal two-man game with KYRIE and Al, you just put someone like Jaylen around them and you can just see the dividends. I saw a stat somewhere today that I think Jaylen, there's something like +2 or something when Jaylen Brown's not on the floor, Al and KYRIE together, and +19 when Jaylen Brown is on the floor. So I don't know. It's just really exciting. You see the Celtics, all these young players being ready earlier than anyone thought. And, right now, 60-win pace. So, we'll see if it holds up in the long run, but I'm really excited.
Yeah, and credit to Brad Stevens. What other team has rookies making positive contributions on both ends of the floor? Tice, Jason Tatum, and Shemi Ojeleye have all been positive players and filled very important roles for the Celtics, and I don't think there's any, if many, other coaches that can do that. Brad Stevens has been amazing this season.
Yeah, incredible. And shout out to Aaron Baines too.
All right, we got a question here. This is from Copenhagen. Who has room for improvement right now with these Celtics? And then conversely, who is playing over their heads?
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, for me, some guy who can improve on the team, I'd say Jaylen Brown. For me, it's the foul shooting. For a guy with the ability to get to the line pretty much at will like he does, he's got to make his free throws. And, that's the big thing for Jaylen. Also, he's got a little case of the yips when it comes to finishing around the basket. He's blowing a lot of open, easy layups. He's rushing them, and then he often gets his own rebound and is missing those too. So I think He's just got to calm down a little bit. But that's something he can work on. Also, Marcus
something
Smart.
That takes does that take a lot of time, or is that something that we think he's like going to flip the switch on at some point?
Oh, I think that flip. It's gonna be switched soon. I mean, he's getting there. He's a hard worker. There's no reason. It's not like Markelle Fultz's mental block. I mean, he just needs to see a couple go in and get his rhythm. But another person I'd like to see improve, maybe Marcus Smart. I don't know. It feels like it's 4 years now. Same old Marcus, hot in the preseason, but the only time I'm really cool with him shooting is in a clutch situation, which is great. But there's 3 other quarters of the game when Marcus Smart can probably hit some shots.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus Smart, 41.1 true shooting percentage early in the season, though. And I think Marcus is someone else who, can get to the rim pretty consistently, but can be kind of victimized by bounces not going the right way and that finishing. I kind of thought he would get there being a younger player, and he's still very young. I always say try not to judge a point guard before 5 years in the league, but we are getting to the point where Marcus has been here for a little bit, and he might be what he is at this point, which is a great player, by the way. But yeah, I think someone who I think has sort of. I would like to say that I think Jason Tatum's kind of played over his head, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him kind of come back down to earth. I know that's going to be very unpopular, but I don't think that's any fault of Jason's. But then at the same time, it's just so hard for me to fathom that we have this rookie who's shooting just this ungodly number from 3-point percentage and just does exactly what the team needs night in and night out. It's almost too good to be true, I guess, is the reason I count him as, playing over his head versus, any referendum on Jason. I'm so impressed, and it seems so staggeringly unlikely that a rookie could possibly keep this up for a whole season.
I don't think the shooting's going to keep up, so I think in that sense, he's playing over his head. It'd be shocking if he shot 50% from 3 over the course of his rookie year.
I don't know, Matt. He did win that 3-point percentage contest, so
40's in play. But I also think that he's a guy that can get a lot better as the season goes along as well. He's got the complete offensive game, and he's so smart out there, and you could pick out any sort of play from the Magic game or whatever where he did something a little bit funky to get the defense off balance and then just made the play either at the rim or by dishing it off. He's so good at that, but at the same time, he hasn't fully found himself, and he hasn't really fully embraced his potential. I almost think that he could take on a bigger role with this team offensively. It's something that's going to take a little bit of time, but I expect, I guess, his contribution to the team to ramp up as the season goes along, even if that 3-point percentage sinks a little bit naturally.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would say for sure, Matt, is I expect him to be great from here on out. I said I expect him to be great from here on out. It's almost like he's from Brooklyn, where a lot of great things have started. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes. Oh, I know where you're going with this, Sam. Mm-hmm. Today's show is sponsored by Greats, and they are out of Brooklyn as well. They're actually Brooklyn's first sneaker company, and they sell all the greats, classic styles, made the best for less. Don't force it so much next time.
I think that was perfect. I don't know. Yo, commenters, ring in. Was that a perfect transition? That was like a KYRIE perfect dime pass, and I think I don't know. I think you muffed the slam. I'm just gonna put it out there, but either way. But we got some great shoes out there for a free shoe.
You even wear
exactly,
shoes, Sam?
Including the Royale lace-up and the Worcester slip-on. You've seen Evan Valenti and Jonathan Levy model that Royale lace-up. Check those out, along with lots of other great styles at greats.com. We got a special deal just for our audience. Save 15% on your first order with our offer code Celtics Roundtable. Just go to greats.com, that's GREATS.com, and be sure to enter Celtics Roundtable to save 15% at checkout. Greats also believe so much in their shoes, they offer a no-risk return and exchange policy to guarantee that you get the right fit in a style you love. That's greats.com, and use our code Celtics Roundtable to save 15%. All right, what's on your mind, guys? What do you want to rant about?
What is on my mind? I mean, I'm just amazed at how great Al Horford has been, especially in that Thunder game. Just each shot was huge, ice in his veins. I mean, I don't know if he'll be able to keep shooting like 100% from three like he's been doing, but I mean, he's got to be the most valuable player on this Celtics team, right?
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Oh boy,
I'd say so. I think Kyrie Irving is the best player on the team, and Al's the most important, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I think Kyrie is probably a better player overall than Al Horford, but I think right now, if Al Horford went down, the Celtics would be in more trouble than they would be if Kyrie Irving went out with injury.
how good can these Celtics get? Like this team, sans Hayward. Like what's their ceiling? I mean, they're playing great right now. There's obviously going to be ups and downs, but if they have like a healthy enough season, where can they go?
I mean, honestly, if Smart does start shooting, he's already thrown out like plus 32s, and he's shooting maybe under 40% from the field. So if he's close to 50, whew, I don't think anybody scores. I don't think. Did anybody score on Smart tonight? I'm not sure.
Aaron
I
Gordon.
have to check the pace.
Aaron Gordon got by him once in the post.
Yeah,
Good call.
Aaron Gordon once.
Because those are the matchups. Anytime Marcus is on a big man, I'm hyper focused on what Marcus is doing that whole play, and Aaron Gordon got him.
Yeah.
Marcus reached, and I think Gordon went up for an and one.
Sam, you mentioned 660 wins they're on pace for.
Yeah.
This team almost reminds me of that 60 wins Hawks teams, not just because Horford's on it, but because that team just played harder than any other team, and they moved the ball really, really well. And I mean, it just goes. And I think they had the first or second best ranked defense along there. I mean, just having that defensive backbone can really take you a long way. And the Celtics have Kyrie Irving and Al Horford to close games for them. There is a recipe for success here if this defense holds up. And it seems there's no signs of it abedding right now.
Yeah, I mean, and this team is way more talented than that Hawks team. It's way younger, and it's and they also have these guys where they can score in isolation. Kyrie Irving, man, he can just find way. I'm not even that mad, and this is a pet peeve of mine when a guy just dribbles outside for 10 seconds and doesn't do anything with the ball. When Kyrie Irving does it, it's just all right. I know that they're gonna get a high percentage look out of this somehow because he can just do that, and that's it's kind of a little bit cliched, but that's really important in the postseason. Also, I think
it's a hot take, Sam.
Yeah, well, and what's really going to help the Celtics is the Cavs being in the lottery. You can't win 4 games. Cavs can't win 4 games against the Celtics when they don't make the playoffs. So, let's go. Let's get them.
Honestly, the Celtics are they're like the bad boy Pistons that shoots threes.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, it's most of the projections that were based on past performance, and pretty much all projections are kind of based on past performance. I think they kind of underrated how well the team just kind of fits together as one. Just the amount of switchability that the Celtics have, and the chemistry between Kyrie Irving and Al Horford, who look like they're pretty much made for each other. Out there, and then of course Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown pretty much exceeding all expectations. This year, it's looking good.
Yeah. And the flexibility to control the glass if they have to, is really helps the defense.
Yeah, that's honestly the most important thing, and I think that's the thing with the NBA, with getting these big long teams. You can play that hyper aggressive Milwaukee style, but also if you have athletes who are long, you can switch everything and also not get crushed on the glass. And we're seeing that with the Celtics. The Celtics have, besides Kyrie, they have above average rebounders at literally every position, which really, really helps. They kept all their great rebounders in Rozier, Smart, and Brown, and then they just added guys like Jason Tatum, Tice, and
Baines.
Baines, yeah, exactly. Like these, ending possessions is a huge part of the Celtics defense. Celtics defense last year, they did a good job at forcing low percentage looks, but you got to end the possession, and that's what they were not good at, and that's how they gave up those points. Rebounding is important, man. That's why Jared Sullinger had a positive defensive rating for the old 14-15 Celtics squad. I think we all know what a great defender Jared Sullinger was.
Best defender in China.
That's true.
Yeah.
I really like this team. I just do. I just like that they have like this defensive backbone that they can just kind of rely on night in and night out, and it's just so heartwarming to see like all the Celtics just kind of buy in and communicate with one another on defense. It feels like Brad Stevens finally like now has a team that's like perfectly suited for what he wants to do. Of course, no Gordon Hayward, who was a big part of that, but everything just sort of seems to be coming together.
Talent, wingspan, and shooters, man. Whew.
Mm-hmm.
So does anyone want Jahlil Okafor on this team, even if it was just for free?
Yes, I'd take him.
Yeah?
I'd take him. Yeah, sure.
If it was like Nader, I saw somebody say like Nader in a second round.
You guys are familiar with the Brad Stevens Juvenation machine. He saved Chris Humphries. Chris Humphries got like 3 contracts after.
He couldn't save David Lee.
I mean, yeah,
it's true.
But that's like, I don't know.
But the Celtics have such a good thing going on right now. Like,
he doesn't have to play.
Yeah, that's true.
Trade something for a guy who won't play. I just, we were just gushing over Daniel Tice, Semi Ojeleye, Marcus Smart's more minutes, what Baines has been doing. Why mess that up with a guy who doesn't play D and has a bad attitude?
I think there is something there. I just feel it.
Are we sure he has a bad attitude? I don't know. I'd be pissed if I were on the Sixers too. I feel like that's a little bit of like, I don't want to judge him too hard for that. I mean, look at what that team did in Nerlens Noel, man. That like
it's another guy. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't think.
The process turns out more disappointments than it does awesome players, and I think there was a time when Okafor was the best post scorer in college basketball. So
70%, I think he shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
He won the title too. Don't forget about that.
Jones.
Yeah. Like, I mean, just like he was on those. They had someone else good on those teams too, didn't they?
Yeah, Tyus Jones.
Was
the one who
brought
him on. Winslow was great in like Winslow was great like the first few rounds, and then Tyus Jones had like an awesome Final Four.
Yeah.
All right, so who's the best player out of those 3? Who will have the best NBA career? Tyus Jones, Justice Winslow, or Jahlil Okafor?
Justice Winslow, baby. It's not over. Here he comes. Big Smart. Once he gets healthy, he's coming around, baby.
I think we found the type of player that Sam Sheehan likes.
Yes, dude.
I'm so holding out hope for Winslow, MKG, all those guys. Lanky defenders.
I think that shooting is the most important thing in the NBA, but also love all the non-shooting players that put up great plus minuses. One last thing. I don't know. Did you guys hear about the... I just want to do this as a quick closeout aside did you guys hear about Kyrie Irving and Whiplash? And
yes.
Have you heard about this, or have we talked about this on the pod?
Regale it. Go ahead.
Okay, I had no idea about this. So Kyrie Irving's a huge Kobe Bryant fan, and he gave an interview talking about Whiplash, which he heard of not on his own, but through the Muse documentary, the Kobe Bryant documentary.
Oh, yeah.
And he watched it right after the Cavs lost their first finals when he was hurt to come back, and he loves it. And I want to read this quote because it's the most Kyrie Irving quote ever. He says, "I was just amazed." This is about Whiplash. "It was just that twitch. It was going to that extra level I knew I had to push through despite what I was going through. The perfection of the craft in anything that people are doing in life takes a shit ton of sacrifice and being away from things that normal people would do." Which, that is the perfect Kyrie Irving quote. Where the perfection in the craft is being away from things normal people do. And that is Kyrie Irving, folks, the walking galaxy brain meme.
Hey, and we're all benefiting from this.
Yes.
Heck.
He's incredibly skilled.
He's like the Drake of basketball, honestly.
Yeah.
I think he's trending more
Garden.
towards Kanye.
I'm incredibly entertained by him. I'm incredibly entertained by him. Celtics right now on exactly 60 win pace after the 0-2 start. So.
And I should say nobody on the Celtics played more than 30 minutes tonight, so that's good.
Oh, actually, way less, way more. Sorry, I thought there were 72 games in an NBA season. Apparently, yeah, they're substantially ahead of 60 win game percent.
You're going to 70.
Love Matt.
With a very friendly November schedule ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, Lakers, Hornets. That's coming
Toronto,
up later this
Brooklyn,
week,
Golden
Wednesday, Friday.
State, Atlanta, Dallas, Miami. A lot of winnable games. They're going to play the Warriors, but other than that, I don't know. Miami, I guess. Toronto,
yeah.
Kyle Lowry hasn't looked great. He got ejected last night.
Sure. Wow. All right, well, we'll have you covered for all those games and much more Celtics content here. As I mentioned, Evan and Zaire, they're going to be on tomorrow breaking down that Hawks game. And we'll have lots of great content for you for the rest of this week. So if you like this show, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the Boston Celtics newsfeed if you prefer to listen to our content on the go. I want to thank my brother Jonathan Lucky's Pipe and Sam Sheehan for joining me today. You can find us, all our stuff on Twitter, by following us at CLNS Roundtable. Once again, we'll be back tomorrow, so we'll see you then.